Let's make a shredded money and gold flake piggy bank.
Good morning, Jake. This looks like an interesting blank.
Good morning, Johnny. This is an interesting blank. I used gold flake, shredded money, Alumilite clear slow on this one. It's worth every cent.
Looks like you started off with a blank that will pay off big time. I bet when you are finished, it will be good as gold.
Aha. Money puns. That's buck wild, Johnny.
I have a penny for your thoughts. What is this project, and who are you making it for?
I'm going to call this a piggy bank just because we're using money and gold in it, and it kind of makes sense since we're doing puns. This was a Make-A-Wish item that we auctioned off. Miss Crafter Rita, we'll just call her Rita. She won this in auction, and whenever they want me to turn it, they pay a little bit extra to the charity, and I turn it. So here I am, I'm turning it.
What is that noise?
I didn't hear any noise.
That doesn't make sense. Anyway, what are you doing here?
I'm just making the mortise with the little dovetail in there. See how I'm fitting it in there? I just used the jaw I'm going to use. Put it in there, then we're going to switch it over, and I'll go ahead and put it in the chuck in a minute. But right now I'm going to sand it and kind of finish this part off a little bit.
Are you going to explain how to sand and polish? That would be mint.
Not on this part. I'm already done. I'll explain it a little bit further in detail a little bit later in the video. You can bank on it.
Oh, good one.
Now that I finished the bottom of that, I'm just going to put it in this chuck right here, and it's already done, so it's pretty much going to stay there almost the rest of the video, except for when we cut the top off. So now what I'm doing now is I'm just going to get it round and then wait until I kind of have a decent shape, and then we're going to go start cutting this thing.
Will you cash in with a crazy shape on this one?
Good one, Johnny. I think for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it simple for a few reasons. One, that gold and money in there looks fantastic. Look at it. And then number two is I've never done this before, so I'm just going to kind of keep it simple.
What is that, and what are you doing?
Well, the thing in my left hand is a threaded ring, and the thing in my other hand are digital calipers. All I was doing was just measuring that so I could get like a rough idea of how to make this thing.
How big was the ring?
I don't know. Those calipers didn't even have a battery in it. So all I did was just go over it, get it about the right size, and then I just locked it down so I could measure it. But I got it from Niles Bottle Stoppers, and they have several different sizes of them. I'll have a link below so you can go check them out.
Oh, that makes sense.
Now I'm just using an Easy Wood Tools parting tool to get in there and cut this thing off. I kind of got it close. I wanted to be able to sneak up on it, and I think it paid off big time.
That's a nice nugget of information.
All I'm going to do now is sneak up on this thing. I'm going to go in there and kind of make a mark and go ahead and put the ring up to it and make sure that I'm close. And in that case, I'm going to make a little indentation so it'll fit in. And then hopefully by the end of this, we'll have something cool and it actually works.
It worked. That was a gold medal effort.
Well, you know what else is golden? Silence. Anyway, that Forstner bit would fit inside of that threaded ring, so I went ahead and just did that. I hollowed it out like that because it was the most convenient way to do it. I went ahead and sanded it, and I polished it. I did a new way to polish it. I'll go over that in a little bit more depth in a minute, but I really didn't sand the inside of this too much. I think I just went to 400, and I did Yorkshire grit, and I went ahead and I taped where the insert's going to be glued in there. That way the glue would stick. I think it worked out pretty good. And now we're going to have some fun.
Is that crazy eyes?
Well, yeah. What's on your screensaver?
Cyberdyne Systems T800 Model 101.
Is that the Terminator? I think your view of yourself is a little enriched. Anyway, the same thing we did on the bottom of this, we're going to do on the top. And I'm not going to show you everything, but bingo, it's in there. It only took me a whole lot of tries. I had to nickel and dime it till I got it just right.
It seems like you are sanding and polishing things in a crazy order. Wouldn't it be easier to sand it all at the same time?
That's a good observation, Johnny. It's just one of those things where, as far as like the bottom, I did it first so it could go in the chuck. I didn't think I would have enough material or it would be convenient for me to finish off the bottom after that. And on these, you kind of want to sand before you put the hardware on, or else you're going to be sanding the hardware. So that's just a couple reasons right there, but it just kind of made more sense to me to do it that way. Somebody else might be able to do it another way, but look how cool that looked.
Now let's see if it works.
I did let that glue dry overnight, so now I'm just setting it together. I'm going to put some tape around it so that I can finish the top of that thing. So as you see there, I'm using negative rate cutters from Easy Wood Tools to go ahead and put a good shape on that. And then when that's finished, it's time to move on to the sides. I just supported the end of it and then took the tape off. I supported it so that it would be less likely that the blank would unscrew itself, and then I could make a consistent shape, and that way you wouldn't feel the line that I parted away.
Dang, Jake, you are rich with ideas.
Don't get too excited, Johnny. Sometimes my ideas are good, and sometimes they're just fool's gold. Anyway, I was pretty excited to get to this point because everything was working just right. I could go ahead and I could shape this how I wanted, and I could look, and that grain pattern, I should say the money and gold pattern in there, worked out perfectly for this kind of thing. A lot of times when I see people doing scraps or resin or whatever, you can totally tell the gap that the parting tool makes, can totally tell with the grain pattern. And this here with this pattern, you can't tell at all.
Yay, sanding.
Dang, Johnny, you're never going to have a good attitude about sanding. One day you're going to realize that sanding is the saving grace of the whole project.
Speaking of saving grace, this looks like an urn.
You might be right on that one, Johnny. I've made stuff like that before, and it's just not that much fun to do. Takes a lot out of you. We'll call it a piggy bank. And besides, I don't think she's ready to cash in just yet.
You said you were going to finish this one different. How so?
I usually use buffing wheels on stuff like this, but this time Meguiar's plastics polish. We're going to zing up the lathe a little bit, put some on your little towel there, and then just kind of apply it and rub it in, and you'll be able to see it just get shiny. And you can go do little parts at a time. It turns out fine, like a new shiny penny.
Why did you change techniques?
I don't think I really changed techniques, but I'd like to show different things. If there's a product that you can just rub on and it'll shine, that's way easier than doing buffing wheels. The buffing wheels can be a little bit cumbersome to handle, and I want this to be something everyone can do.
What was that sound?
I don't know. I'm really happy with the way this came out. I hope Rita treasures this, and more importantly, we really cashed out for Make-A-Wish this year. And go tell Rita thank you in the comments.
If you enjoyed this video, check out another one right here. Y'all be good.